Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is May 4th. The Solana ecosystem call is back. Drop a little GM in the chat if you're feeling good. Make sure your chat is set to everyone so that everyone can see it. We have a banger of a call lined up for you today, folks. I can't express how excited I am to have some of these guests who've been among the best shippers in all of the Solana ecosystem. But we have a lot of people here, and it might be people here for the first ever time. So if you are here for the first time, allow me to inform you what we're even doing here, right? The value of this call is pretty simple. Crypto is a crazy place. Price goes up, price goes down. Laws change constantly. It's illegal one day, it's illegal the next. New alt layer ones get launched sometimes. NFT collections come and they go. It's crazy, right? But there's one thing that shines through the craziness, and that is the people who keep building. That is what this call is all about. The community of builders that are Solana. There were 1,800 people that signed up for this call. That's 1,800 people who are not scared of the craziness, who, if they were, they might be doom scrolling or moving on to AI or whatever the fuck, right? Whatever the hell, excuse my swearing already. Instead, the people are here on the call right now. The bull market is over, the tourists have left, and we are what remains. This is a call for, by, and about the real builders of Solana. Everything else is noise. Can I get an amen in the chat for the builders, please? Let's get going. Yeah, there it is. All right. So if it is your first time here, you might not know. So let me tell you how this stuff kind of works, right? This is experimental. We've done this a few times before. It has mostly worked. Hopefully this is another time where it's going to mostly work. There's 3 rules. Rule number 1, get active in the chat. The chat is where all the action is. It's really the only reason that most people come to this, right? Get active in the chat. Number 2, we have Q&A live. All of the panelists can see it. You have a question for Armani. How did his teeth get so white? Maybe you got a question from Tony. How did his mustache get so thick? Put that into the Q&A and we will make sure to get answers for all of you in that. And number 3, as I said, stay until the end for a surprise. I see Sue in the chat saying developers. Shout out to Chris from Zuper team for making that into a meme. If you got a question, you're going to have to put it into the Q&A because the chat moves a little bit too fast to keep it going here. That is how this is going to work. Here's the game plan. We're going to go through some wins of the month. There were a lot of them. We're going to go through the state of Solana. It's doing just fine. We're going to have a special guest, sometimes known as Solana Jesus. Then we're going to have some alpha drops from some of the best projects in this space, and we're going to end it with work to earn. I think we're launching a new version of Super Team Earn, so heads up on that. I think there's like 20 bounties listed on that right now, which is crazy, along with a bunch of other stuff. Going to be a lot of fun. 9 out of 10 dentists recommend Armani. That is a fact. Let's kick this off with a reminder, actually. Recap thread. If you make a thread about this community call, the best thread will get $50 and my eternal love. Kuga has won it in the past, as have some other people. Ankita, I think, won it once. So if you'd like to make a thread of this call, please do. We love the memes. All right, let's go. Drew Raj working the entire night for the Earn website. That is a fact. Shout out to the chef Drew, to Krishna the crypto diver, and many others. Okay, next win of the month potentially here. The saga is here, folks. It's been months in the making. The physical phone has arrived. We have broken off of the internet into IRL. The seed vault is there. The DApp store is there. It works with everything Android. Ton of great things happening over there. The chat nearing its breaking point right now. We're going to actually hear from the Solana mobile team in a little bit, so I won't say anything else, but giant W over there. Win number 2, also giant. Shout out to Drip. Drip has minted 1 million NFTs. Somebody insert the Dr. Evil meme right here, right? 1 million NFTs is bonkers, the largest NFT collection on any chain. Shout out to Vibu and the Drip House team, former guests on the ecosystem call. You would have got a code if you had come to their call. They are just doing bigger and bigger things every time. Win number 3 over here. Helium has officially completed its upgrade to Solana. This is a big deal. For those of you who don't know, the DePIN movement, decentralized physical infrastructure, is a new narrative that, in my humble opinion, is going to be pretty important for Solana in the coming months. Helium is gigantic. They offer Internet of Things services and this kind of secure network all around the world. Anyone can join the network really easily. You can watch an old ecosystem call, I think from last month, Abe was on talking about it, but huge shout out to them. I see some, drop a little deep in the chat for Helium for doing deep win, says Henry from Ultimate, also a good mustache holder. Love to see it. Bringing real utility to real people in the real world. That's what I love about DePIN, right? Let's see. Next up, another DPIN win here. Hive Mapper has mapped 2 million unique kilometers. That's pretty wild. If you're just looking at this chart, right, that's up only right now. That's up and to the right. This is 8 times as fast as Google Street View came together. Hive Mapper allows anybody to contribute footage of real world places to create maps that anyone else can use. Those maps are then sold to all sorts of different companies. Real value for real people. Once again, deep. Love to see it. People saying IOTA, deep cut. And they're outside of Thunmay's house right now as a fun fact. So shout out to Hive Mapper, shout out to everybody. As a reminder, in the chat, you got to make it to everyone. By default, it goes only to the hosts and to the panelists. So make sure it goes to everybody, please. All right, let's drop a little win number 5. You might have heard there was an NFT launch a few weeks ago. I don't know if people noticed, but Mad Lads broke the world. Drop a little wow in the chat here for Mad Lads. 20 million plus in sales volume, starting the People's NFT collection, starting at 6.9 Sol. Love to see it. And then with a delightful rickroll. The only person that could ever rickroll me and leave a smile on my face is smiling right now is Mr. Armani or Mr. Tristan. Shout out to everyone over on that team for putting together just a crazy collection here. Bringing the fun back. That's what we like to see. Speaking of fun, the Nas Creator Summit was a hit. For anyone who has not seen, who does not know Nas, one of the biggest creators in the world, hosted a summit for 1,000 creators, handpicked in Dubai, 66 countries represented, 260 million followers combined amongst all of them. And throughout it all, Solana loud and clear. A big shout out, big shout out to my guy Akshay BD, to Thunmay, to Lily Liu, president of the foundation, for setting this up, and to Exchange Art for helping out on the booth. Just trying to bring the message of Solana to the masses. Solana is for the creators, and the creators are coming in a big way. Drop a little W for those folks right now as well. Solana sponsored the Nas Summit. They did indeed, all 10 of them. If you happen to be watching this in Mongolia, there's a Mongolian Nas Summit. That is not a joke. Go check it out. You'll see Solana all over the place there, and allow some more Mongolians to get on board too. Okay, next up, we have a win for the BD team. In the past, people have made fun of the Solana BD team. Let's call a spade a spade. I think not appreciating how much work they're actually doing behind the scenes. So shout out here, a nice partnership with MasterCard. Coming together. The foundation going to be working to help enhance verification, ticketing, and a bunch of other stuff. If you haven't heard, MasterCard's a pretty big deal. As Stu was saying in the chat, BD Energy. So shout out to Maddie Window and Shiraz, 2 legends. Drop a little BD Energy just to let Maddie know in the chat here. What's MasterCard, says Thunmay. They don't have that in India, Thunmay? Not yet. All right, it's coming soon. BD Energy in the chat. There we go. All right, next up, another partnerships, another BD work being done here. Brave is now working with Solana Name Service, which we love to see. We love the tech name service as well. Shout out. But any more integrations are worthwhile and needed. BD Energy still flowing in the chat. Love to see that. And then lastly, from a BD Energy standpoint, Boba Guys building its on-chain loyalty program on Solana. This is a major use case. If you follow the Super Team Substack, and what are you doing if you don't, you would have seen some great writing from Scribblr, from Akshay BD around the value of NFTs as loyalty programs of the future. Going to open up entirely new vistas for businesses to reward not only their own fans, but other fans. Tons of white, or should I say greenfield design space over there. Shout out to Boba for being the first ones to come. And I see some Boba tea in the chat as well, which is always a pleasure. I don't want to talk too much about this, but now we're in the double digits, and I cannot have gotten this far without mentioning Star Atlas and the fantastic work that they're doing. 800,000 transactions. What other chain can even support that? I don't know. I'm not great at math, but that's a pretty fucking big number. Pretty big number. I apologize for the swearing again. And more than 3,000 within a day of launch. The W's are flowing in. We're going to see Star Atlas in some videos later on in the call, so stick around for that. But shout out to Mike Wagner. Love Wagner. We love Star Atlas, says the chat. That is right. Number 11, our friends over at Margin5, former guests on the ecosystem call, have shipped Omni. Bring some AI into the crypto world, which is always fun. Go check this out. If someone can drop a W in the chat, thank you very kindly for Omni. And then Jito Sol, again, former guest of the ecosystem call. We've had some good guests in the past, Buffalo and the rest. 100 million staked Sol, 25% of all the Sol networks. If you own Solana as a token And that's your decision to do, maybe good, maybe bad. But if you own it, you should be staking, contribute to the decentralization of the network. Jito Soul is going to offer you the best rewards. Shout out to Jito. You can do it from within your Squad's wallet super easily. You are using Squads, right? Shout out to Jito. And then win number 13. This is where we like to say only possible on Solana. Can I get an only possible on Solana here in the chat? Dialect has minted 600,000 stickers in a single month, all for free. If you use Dialect, you don't have to pay a penny. This only comes your way. OPOS is the name of the game here. Just incredible work by Dialect. Shout out to Chris and the whole team. We're going to have them on the next community or ecosystem call as well. And make sure you go grab that. I think Super Team has a sticker pack as well. Shout out to the Super Team members. Ooh, I'm running out of breath, but we got two more. First, now we're talking more Solana pilling. Big shout out to George and the Step Finance team. They launched StepDAO and the Solana All-Stars to help bring the word of Solana across the world. They're here to bring the next billion people on. If you are sitting in literally any country, you're in Armenia, you're in the US, you are in Bogota, wherever else you might be, reach out to George and the team. They want to bring you on board. And then finally, StepDAO, crushing it. Super Team has launched a pizza fund. As you see here, if you're a Super Team member, we're giving out grants of up to $200 to host meetups and to Solana pill people. We have here we have On talking to people over in Vietnam. We have people over in India down here. We have people in Germany, of course. This is a Turkish meetup, just all over the world. Drop a little pizza in the chat. If you want to get involved, become a Super Team member, win a bounty or a grant. That's all the W's. Now we talk about how the network is actually doing. Things are going pretty well. Let me tell you that. Here are the overall metrics for the network. We're doing about 340 million transactions per day. A bunch of those are voting transactions, of course, but that's a lot of transactions. Month per month, we're up 14%. So more people using the network for non-voting based things, which is fantastic. Active wallets down slightly. So it looks like the people who are still here are using Solana even more actively, which we love to see, some more retention and engagement. Daily active programs roughly stable, but validators inching forward up about 4% month over month. Down slightly. This is nothing but a scratch, says Joseph from D-Reader. That is right. And late breaking news, this came in just before the call started here. Solana has now increased the lead in daily active addresses, the chain with the most daily active addresses, which is just fantastic. I want to bring on somebody to the stage who I believe is working on some of the hardest problems in the space. Talk about a team that likes to ship glass. Our next guest is on the team that first shipped verifiable randomness on chain, which is much harder than it sounds, and it sounds pretty hard. They have, I think, just a killer Oracle that devs everywhere around the world can use, focused entirely on the dev experience. We have the one, we have the only. We have Mitch from Switchboard here. Drop a little GM for Mitch in the chat. Mitch, are you with us?
How's it going? I am here. How's it going?
I'm out of breath, my guy. I'm very excited for you to take over. Tell us, what is going on for developers on Solana?
That's great. Well, I gotta say that picture before is pretty accurate with my build and everything. That's the suit I'm gonna be wearing all year. But great, yeah. There's been a lot of developments in the Solana ecosystem. There's a lot of cool things that we've been working on that we're excited to announce, but some other people have been building some really cool stuff too. So to get started here, the first bullet I have here is Solana AI, and Solana team has actually made a whole ChatGPT integration to make really complex transaction building much more usable, much more accessible for non-technical people. And now you can do a whole new plethora of things just by describing what you want to do. And it's really just a whole new experience for how you can interact with the blockchain. And very exciting. And we're actually seeing how we can actually integrate some of this technology into Switchboard itself. So you could program oracles to actually do some of these more human readable termed actions on chain. It'll be very fantastic. Next up, Helios actually built some RPC tooling to help build off-chain infrastructure. You can actually add webhooks for watching accounts now. Really useful for not having to run any of your own infrastructure off-chain to actually trigger actions, watching accounts, see if price movement actually happens, or even just checking growth on your own dApp. Really useful. I know at least at Switchboard, we really care about tracking our metrics and stats, and this is something that we're actually actively looking into and really respect the Helios team here also. Cool. Well, next up, Gum has actually built a primitive for session keys, offering fine-grained access control for your dApps. It's really an interesting product that you can actually control how permissions work for different users, different authorities. And I know a lot of people are building this independently into their dApps. You know, Switchboard built its own permission protocol itself. So it's great to see somebody actually start building a standard around this technology that everyone actually has to build. and excited to see how it goes. And the last point is actually with our own product at Switchboard serverless. And we've actually moved with our V3 to adding a layer of verifiability using trusted execution environments. I'm sure you've seen how the Saga Fund's using ARM Trust Zone. There's also AMD Sev and SGX chips, all different types of technologies to actually verify an actual binary through hardware verification. And what we can actually do with this is that we can let anyone define any code function in any language and actually associate a signer from that code with something on chain. So if you want to make a measurement of a code off chain and want to say that code has special rights to do some action, you can do that using Switchboard now. And let's say that you actually want to run an entire game engine and know that the winner of the game is paid out verifiably. You can run that whole game engine in a Switchboard service and ensure that when the game finishes, the payer will be paid out and your dApp can interact with some action you know is being signed by that off-chain game. Another thing you can do with this is actually broadcast a secret value to the whole Switchboard network. So if you actually want to make a data feed to some gated API and actually use API keys in your data feeds, now you can do that and not actually have to host any infrastructure yourself. There's a few cool things we're building. There's a lot more. You can really make this freeform and do anything you want. And we've built this technology into Switchboard now, so you can actually know and verify exactly what our oracles are running. And it adds a whole new layer of trust rather than just trusting stake in this whole Oracle problem that we're solving here.
Love to see it. Drop a little W in here for Switchboard, making just devs' lives easier all across the world. Just fantastic. When I think of the next two people, I think of one word, and that word is conviction, right? Solana legend put his entire net worth into Solana very, very early on and then rode it all the way up, diamond handing. Logan has been here talking the same points about why Solana is better than the rest for like more than a year now on his killer podcast, and you should go check it out. The sexiest investors in crypto, says Armani. That is not wrong. You know him as the man with the smooth voice, and you know the other guy is the guy with the flaming head. Please welcome, drop a little GM for our friends, Logan and Legend, folks.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, Cash. This call is absolutely electric. I'll just say a few points and then pass it over to Logan. I think, look, the story of Solana is just beginning. This is a community that is unbreakable. And everything we've been through has given us a conviction, to even double down and triple down on Solana. When we look at Solana today, we see a number of extremely exciting primitives, whether that's XNFTs, compressed NFTs, the dApps you can build on Solana Mobile. These truly are giving meaning to the meme only possible on Solana, right? And I think Mert captured lightning in a bottle when he came up with that term, and we're doing everything we can to absolutely spread that. Solana at this point in time, I'd say historically has been more of a contrarian bet for VCs, but we're seeing increasingly, a strong roster of native VCs like Frictionless, like Big Brain VC, like Asymmetric. There's a number of people just championing the Solana banner consistently. And this is attracting other people into the ecosystem, right? You saw Placeholder leading Tensor's round. There's Ethereum VCs that traditionally would have never looked at Sol that are saying, look, after everything Solana's been through, they've been hit in the face with a brick 5 times, and they're still going, still have tons of developers, still have tons of users. What are we missing here? And I think I like to pass it to Logan, but this is uniquely enabled by the only possible on Solana meme. And I'd encourage everyone to just keep their head up and keep shipping, because better times are coming, and the VCs of the world are definitely noticing what's happening on Solana.
I think Legend puts that perfectly. We're super excited for Solana, and really, Solana is for the users. And I think when I got into crypto in 2017, the promise of DeFi, the promise of getting people involved in blockchains was the thing that truly got me excited. And when other ecosystems just had really high gas fees and I paid $1,000 to do swaps, I kind of got a little discouraged. And once I discovered Solana, all the technical things that they were pushing forward, it's just been amazing. And so as Diego mentioned, I think ultimately the space is really understanding some of the technical nuance that is happening on Solana. And it's just very exciting to see.
Fantastic. You heard it here, straight from the horse's mouth here. VC funds are interested. VC funds are coming. We just launched Super Team Deal Flow as well for any of the Super Team members or people who want to start to raise and get added to these folks. You can shoot me a DM afterwards and we can talk more about that. Fantastic. So the builders are coming. The network can do things that no other network can. If you look at the state of NFTs, you're going to know that this is true, right? 2.5 million holders of NFTs, almost 1 million NFTs minted in just April alone. Bonkers. As Srijani, big shout out to Srijani, who helps do the research for this deck here, has pointed out, we are back to pre-FTX levels in terms of NFT sales volume. The bear market's only gotten deeper, but people are coming back because they know Solana NFTs are fun, they look good, and it is in no small part thanks to our next guest speaker, who we're going to be hearing from, who's helped kind of usher this in. We'll get to him in just 1 second. I do want to give a quick shout out to exchange.art. There's a 280,000 NFT collections. There are also plenty of awesome one-of-one artists who are out there in the world right now. So you can go check them out and support them over on exchange.art. But next up, actually, I'll tell you what, let's do another poll. As you can tell, I'm a little poll hack today. Let's do a quick poll. I'm curious as to what people's favorite NFT collections might be. And now here is this is where I set it up, and you hopefully don't make me look silly because there's a right answer and a wrong answer here. Oh, let me tell you, the answers are flying in. We love all these collections, by the way, but knowing that Armani travels with a deep entourage, we had to put the poll out. The wows are already coming in the chat. The next guy, he didn't need an introduction, and yet I introduce him anyway. He built half the shit that you use on Solana. It would not be here without him. He's got just unbelievable amounts of drive and work ethic. Nothing can slow this guy down. He is the maddest of all the lads. Can I get a little fuck it in the chat for our guy Armani, who's going to tell us all about the Mad Lads Mint, the honeypot, and all the other good work that they're doing. What's going on, Armani?
Before getting started, can we get some Albert tongues in the chat, please? This is of urgent importance. Before we get started, please post some tongues, some emoji tongues. It's been an absolutely crazy week, an absolutely crazy 2 weeks. Mad Lads has minted. What did we do? We topped the 24-hour volume chart. Boom. We topped the 7-day volume chart, not just on Solana, but in all of crypto. Boom. #1 by market cap. Boom. Things are electric. We are in the news. We are in, we are on CoinDesk. We're on Fortune. All this crazy stuff is happening. And it's, we are the symptom of the larger kind of, I think, ecosystem and sentiment shift on Solana. So just thank you so much for having me. But I'm not here to talk about all the accomplishments. I'm here to talk about bots. For folks that have been in the ecosystem over the past 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you'll notice we're in the whitelist era. Why are we in the whitelist era? It's because bots have absolutely destroyed the fun in all NFT mints. So we decided to combat this. We decided to fight it. So what exactly happened? Why did we break the internet? What the hell happened during the Mad Lads mint? So, rewinding the clock about 2 weeks, the mint was on a Wednesday and a Thursday. On that Monday, I got some messages on Telegram. What did those messages say? It was somebody very nicely telling me that he can take Backpack down and he can take our Mad Lads website down. The TLDR is that he was extorting me, and he was trying to, and he basically had a botnet that was, performing a denial of service attack on the website. If you're a developer in the audience, you should learn this because this will happen to you. It's not something that just happened to Mad Lads. It happens to basically all the big websites. And so what did we have to do? We had to build our systems in a way that was robust against denial of service attacks. So fast forward to Wednesday, we mint out the whitelist. It was super smooth, super successful. Everybody's happy. We have a smile on our faces. We're ready to go to Thursday. We're ready to go to the public mint. We're ready to, sail on the, path to Valhalla. We get ready for the Thursday mint, 6 o'clock Chicago time, 7 o'clock Eastern. About 10 minutes before, we noticed we started getting attacked. We noticed, I'll go ahead and open up Cloudflare here. You'll notice this first spike, and you'll notice the timestamp. It was no coincidence. Actually, this is the week before. Excuse me. This is the chart for. This is the week. This is when I was getting extorted. This is the mint. So you notice this big spike. Basically, what was happening is this attacker, this botnet started attacking Backpack. and trying to take the website down. And we got about 5 minutes into this, and we immediately realized that he was trying to reverse engineer the code to bot the entire mint. This is obviously really bad. They bought the entire mint, they steal all the NFTs, they dump it on the market, the project gets hurt, the buyers get hurt, everybody gets hurt. We decided this is unacceptable, and we decided to fight it. So what did we end up doing? We ended up pushing it back. We pushed it back, at first 10 minutes, then 15 minutes, then 30 minutes, then an hour. And each time we would push it back and try to mint again, well, what happened? Well, we started to get botted again. Right. So basically it was this cat and mouse game where we would deploy an update. This botnet would come and try to attack Backpack, try to reverse engineer the code, try to steal the entire mint. We push it back. And eventually we said, screw it. Let's push it back 24 hours so that we can take a look at the anti-bot mechanisms and make sure that we can have a safe, fair mint that doesn't absolutely destroy the project. So we pushed it back 24 hours. We moved from Thursday to Friday. Everybody's freaking out. But it was crazy marketing, crazy press. Let's fast forward to Friday. Friday was a make or break it day for us. Basically, the sentiment on Twitter, the sentiment on the timeline, the sentiment on social media was that Mad Lads had to mint. If we didn't mint, I think it would have been pretty bad. So what we get back to the mint time, what actually happens? Well, the exact same thing. We get attacked, denial of service, a botnet starts attacking us. We end up having to delay the mint. Eventually, we delay it 5 minutes, we delay it 10 minutes. Eventually we're 30 minutes in, we're like, fuck it, we have to do it. We cast the net wide. We do 2 immediate big updates, one with the honeypot to catch the bot, and then one with the real update. And basically what ended up happening is that we were able to log the attackers' basically requests, and we're able to see them hitting the honeypot, which were private endpoints that were baked into our code that nobody could have possibly seen unless they had reverse engineered the code. So that was basically irrefutable proof that we were getting botted. Anyway, we did these two updates really fast, one right after another. It was like on the order of 1 minute after another. We ended up getting about $250,000, $250,000 in the honeypot. We mint, we have a great mint and mint out, and that was the end of that. And so that's the story of the honeypot. That's the story of the botters. It was a crazy week, but I think we ended up being victorious. So that's the story. That's the Mad Lads Mint. Thank you everybody for listening, and thank you for having me.
Very, very, it's my pleasure to have you here. Drop a little W in here for Armani, the drop of the story. I think the most interesting part of the story you left out, buddy. What did you do with that $250,000 from the honeypot?
We gave it back, of course. We gave it back that night.
Look at this guy, fucking Santa Armani over here. Even when he's been hurt, he turns the other cheek. That's why they call him Solana Jesus, folks. I do want to talk next up about one thread that I thought was really powerful this month to give people a sense of this kind of only possible on Solana meme. It's obviously become a meme. What does it actually mean? We heard from the great guys at Frictionless. We heard from Mitch at Switchboard. There's a thread here that I think is great from Blockworks that really helps explain partially what is so special about Solana right now. You would know that if you've ever tried to mint an NFT on Ethereum or any other network, which are great, by the way, no shots at any of those other guys, you have this problem that when the network is being most used, it becomes the least useful or the least usable because it gets too expensive, right? So during the Bored Ape Yacht Club, when they had their kind of like metaverse sale, swaps were costing $500. I paid hundreds of dollars for gas before, and it sucked. However, Mad Lads, all the action in the world in one specific place, the rest of the network remained cheap as hell to use. This is all due to something called local fee markets, folks. I encourage people to check this out. I'm going to put this link into the chat as well right here now. And really, you can find as you go through this is that unlike the other chains, because Solana is able to parallelize these transactions, they're also able to help kind of narrow the focus. When there's a lot of activity in one place, it doesn't start to affect all the activity in the rest. It is a funny and kind of sad truth in many other blockchain networks. The more used they are, the less usable they become, right? They kind of get shittier over time as people use them, which is kind of the inverse of what you want, right? You want more users and you want things to get better. That's the classic network effect. Many blockchains have an anti-network effect. The more people that are using them, the worse they actually get. Solana is not one of those. And it's one of the many things that I think helps make this ecosystem unique and valuable for builders. So if you are building, you can remain assured that your dApp is going to be used no matter what's happening elsewhere on the network. Doesn't matter if there's spam, doesn't matter if Armani is being held hostage for the 5th time. It's really just something that's unique and awesome about Solana. So shout out to Blockworks for putting this together. Shout out to the core devs for getting this off. And that's your little monthly piece of content over here. With that said, I'm going to get over to the next section here, which is where we start to get some alpha from some of the best founders in the space. I see Addo with the soul heart eyes. That's how I feel right now. The first one we're going to hear from is really, I mean, it's the belle of the ball right now, right? And I got to tell you guys a little story, because on Christmas of last year, Christmas of 2022, we were about 6 weeks after FTX, right? Many people weren't sure how they were going to survive or not. They were sweating, trying to take some time off. They were hanging out with their families. They were praying for their portfolios. There was one team that was not doing any of that. That team was shipping. They shipped on December 26th, no doubt. That team is Tensor, and I am thrilled to have Richard from Tensor coming through right now. Drop a little lightning bolt in the chat for the fastest, in my opinion, the best NFT marketplace on Solana. We got Tensor coming up next.
Appreciate it, guys, for having us on. We don't usually do these calls just because we're literally like hammered when it comes to our time. We just have like so much stuff to do, and we're a small team. But I mean, I think the biggest thing that to take away from the story of Tensor and our rise to recently becoming the #1 marketplace is that we did this all with a couple of devs. It was mainly me and Ilmoy. And then we recently brought on a couple of devs part-time, but we managed to sort of get to the #1 spot within a couple of months. And I guess that goes to show, like, on Solana, if you have enough drive, if you have enough work ethic, and you're a really good dev, you can sort of do the impossible. You can go up against sort of a team of 100+ people and take away meaningful market share. And that's what that wasn't what we initially expected. I think getting to #1 was within a couple of months was quite unexpected for us. But it's I guess it's pretty cool. Initially we just started building something cool. We wanted to build a different marketplace that was more catered towards people like us who like to see the numbers, who like to see the real-time transactions coming in. Now all marketplaces kind of have that experience, but initially we were one of the only ones on Solana to do this. We just wanted to build really cool tech, and I think that's our ethos from the very beginning, is to build cool shit that a lot of people like to use, and just try to break the cutting edge of what's possible in crypto, what's possible on Solana. I think going forward, we have a lot of fun things planned that's only possible on Solana. Obviously, the big thing is compressed NFTs. With what Trip is doing, minting 1 million compressed NFTs on Solana, that has never been done before on any other chain. And we want to be, we want to be the leader when it comes to compressed NFTs. So I guess I won't take up too much more time, but expect more to come from Tensor. If you want to see what is only possible with NFTs on Solana, follow us, use Tensor, and hopefully we'll have more things shipping soon.
These guys don't stop. The same week that they overcame a billion with a B dollar company in Magic Eden in terms of volume, they were still shipping. There was no champagne being popped. It was just shipping. Love to see it. One thing I do want to give a special shout out. Richard, do you want to talk about the founding engineer that you're looking for? Because I think this group of devs might be right for you.
Yeah. I get to that point. Obviously we've started with a very small team. We're planning to hire a couple more founding engineers to join this very fast growing platform. So if you are a rockstar engineer, which I think most of you are, and you're interested in building essentially the next financial rails for the next hopefully $1 trillion asset class, which are NFTs, definitely shoot us a message, DM me or Ilmoy on Twitter. Send us your resume, send us your proof of work, your GitHub, whatever you want, and hopefully we can chat.
The next team that's coming up is inspiring, right? That's what I think of when I think of this team. There's a lot of other ecosystems who are kind of happy to rest on their laurel, right? Or not really taking big swings, trying to bring on the next X millions or X billions of users, right? And I think it's one of the things I love about this ecosystem is that there are teams really trying hard and crazy stuff. There's no one else doing what this next team is doing, right? The next team is trying to put phones in the hands of people all around the world so that they can actually use crypto on a day-to-day basis. And so we have the one, the only, Andrew Watson from the Solana Saga team to come and tell us what they've been up to. Andrew, tell us, what has Solana Mobile been up to?
Man, I feel like something happened this month and I can't remember what it. Oh, right, we released a phone. We had our launch event on April 13th. It is hard to believe that was not even a month ago. Man, we've been waiting for this for a long time. And it was a small event. It was intimate, but it was a lot of fun. And man, it is so great to see the phone out there. So the phone is launched, it is shipping, and it's getting into people's hands. And it's really exciting to see the reactions and to see people posting photos on Twitter and to see the reaction. Obviously, the dApp store is on the phone, and so people are getting to experience that. We got 18 dApps live in the App Store right now, with a lot more to come, and we want lots more. And so, we want people to use the dApp Store, download the apps, and then we want to have people add to the dApp Store as well. So yeah, we got a lot of things coming. This is really, we've been waiting for this. We've been working towards this for so long, but this is just the start. We got some really cool rewards planned. You've seen tweets about stuff with Claynosaurs. Keep an eye open for that. Lots of really cool stuff. Lots of other people want to get rewards with Saga. We've got this really cool Genesis token that you can claim when you get your Saga, and with that you can sort of validate that it's proof of Saga, and so you can apps and teams can use that to validate that you are in fact a Saga user, and then give rewards based on that. So it is it's super, super exciting, and there's just so much more to do and so much more to build. And yeah, I mean, I think for me, the help that I'm looking for, that we're looking for, let's keep talking about mobile. Again, this is just the start, but so many other ecosystems, blockchain in general, they're not talking about mobile. It's barely on the radar, and we're not going to go anywhere without mobile. And so let's be the blockchain that is mobile. And the potential is,
That's massive.
It's huge. It's huge.
Love it. Andrew, what is your favorite dApp on dApp Store right now?
Ooh, man. Well, this might seem a little lame, but there's a little app called Minty Fresh. And,
hey.
It allows you to mint your NFTs. I'm sorry, your photos as NFTs. I'm a little partial to that one. But boy, I it's like my children. I can't pick a favorite. There's all good apps. It's just fun to see.
Anything else you can say about the rewards, Andrew? I think you piqued mine and a lot of other people's interest here.
I don't know what I can say. All I can say.
It's not being recorded or anything. Don't worry.
Again, the big one is Claynos. Announcements are coming for that, and there's going to be some fun stuff there. And then we're working with other teams who want to do drops exclusive to Saga. Already there's the Magic Eden's got $25. You get $20. These are both USDC from from us when you claim the welcome pack. So already it's like $45, and then lots more. And if you want to do a reward, please reach out to us because we want more. We want more Saga exclusive rewards. So you've got you obviously got real passionate users on the Saga, and so they're ready to jump in. So we'd love to see more.
All right, folks. Thanks so much, Andrew. I tried to get him to leak something, but the man has gone through media training. You can tell he's advanced.
I get in trouble a lot for leaking things, so I really have to make sure that I didn't do that this time.
Oh, good. Well, shout out to the whole Saga team. This was a Herculean effort over the past, I don't even know how many years to make this happen. When delivery in Europe, we have some stuff going on over there. All right, we got 2 more updates coming, I promise, and there are 3 more updates, and they are fantastic. But before we do, we started something new last time on this call, which is a little moment of kindness, which I think was a lot of people thought was like the highlight of the show. So I want to do it again. I want to do a quick intermission to do a little Twitter raid. There is this 16-year-old kid on Twitter. I don't know where in the world he is, but he wrote this really nice technical thread helping other devs. He started as a Helios advocate, and he's got something like 160 followers, right? And I just like really appreciated how much work he had put into something that, you know, possibly no one was going to see, but he still put it in. He's trying to get onboarded into the Solana ecosystem. Can we do a little Twitter raid on Tide Law over here? He's a 16-year-old intern at Helios. If you just scan this QR code right now with your phone, which I am going to try and do, it should actually pre-populate and take you right to the thing where you can just tweet. All you have to do is hit 1 extra button. If people can do that, I think it's going to make his day. Thank you, G from Sajiko, putting it into the chat as well. You can follow this here. I don't think Tide Law is on this call, and my hope is that just tomorrow, he's going to wake up, he or she is going to wake up and just be very surprised as to what is going on here. So give people a second to do that here. You can go directly to the lad or ladette's page here, or if you just do a little QR code right here and scan it, it'll say only possible on Solana under their latest post, which is a lot of fun as well. So please do that. Nice little moment of silence. Hopefully it's fun to imagine him waking up tomorrow, just a big smile on his face. You know, like Solana is for the people, those people who contribute. Speaking of nice people that or doing nice things that make you feel warm and fuzzy, I want to bring up someone to the stage next who makes me feel warm and fuzzy. You might recognize him from his Grizzlython win. You might recognize him from the chat on the ecosystem call. He's been here since the very beginning. You might recognize him as one of the best mustaches in the game. Little fact, this is actually what he looks like in real life. The man is genuinely ripped. Big shout out to Tony from Underdog, grand prize winner from Grizzlython. Tony, tell the people what you're building.
Cash. Yeah, no, it's been a nice little step up. Thanks for having us. Sometimes I just started out in the chat. The next thing you know, we're getting small little wins features, and next thing we're winning Grizzlython and get the chat. So really excited to dive into what we're doing. Builders, always time yourself when you're pitching. So I'm setting up a timer for 3 minutes now so I can stay diligent. So yeah, really appreciate the Grizzlython win. Think like what we're building is something that's going to help the ecosystem at large. But what are we doing? Our API seamlessly integrates dynamic NFTs to capture user insights through any product or workflow. The idea for us is data-rich blockchains are going to win. Those that have the most data on them to create these composable and interoperable experiences are going to last the longest. And our bet is Solana. What we think is the easiest way to bring data on-chain and make data useful on-chain is through NFTs. Yeah, thanks, Cash. Like I mentioned, we're an API to integrate dynamic NFTs. You can connect your NFTs with native integrations that we're building through Discord or Telegram, or through our Zapier application, where you can plug in tools like GitHub, OpenAI, and Airtable. This month, we've shipped our compression API, so you don't need to rely on indexers or any other tools. You can now create compressed projects with no code on mainnet and devnet. We launched the Underdog SDK, which to the right, you're seeing a demo of our compressed cookies that I'll go over. And we're leaking and teasing our compression hackathon. So we will be hosting something for anyone who wants to build compressed NFTs. And if you want to contribute to our open source SDK, want to create examples or interfaces like what we're building for Bobo Guys, do let me know. So I will quickly walk through what Cash just did here. So I think everyone knows that compressed NFTs and compression itself is 100x decrease in cost. But what we really believe, it's 100x ability to bring data on chain. And so one of the things that we really noticed is, hey, what if you could actually capture user insights across all of the customer journey or across your entire product? Imagine a world where you brought that on chain, it was indexed through an API. And for example, a team like Saga, who's using the Genesis token on Underdog, a team like Parcel, who's doing Real Estate Royale on Underdog, would be able to use those NFTs and that data together. So yeah, starter.underdogprotocol.com. The idea here is for these compressed NFTs to be dropped along your user journey. So for Parcel, that's trades and swaps. For a team like Solarplex, that's like replies and forums created. This example is just connected wallet. So you can connect any wallet that you want. I'm at 3 minutes, so I will finish this up. What it's doing is now checking my wallet for compressed NFT. You just saw my wallet pop up as one of the latest visitors. If this doesn't bug out, the compressed NFT should show up here. And what it will show is my first visit and then my latest visit. So here you'll see my first visit at 6:57. Here's the current time, which is now 6:57 with 29 seconds. So if I refresh it, it'll happen again. But the idea is now we're able to capture this really important user insight through compressed NFTs, bring that on chain. And when more people start doing this through Underdog NFTs, you can unlock interoperability and composability. Anyways, thanks everyone.
Next up, we have, last but far from the least, one of the most hyped games in all of crypto, right? Again, we talk about mass adoption. Web3 gaming is going to be part of that story. And our next guest is the founder and the CEO of the sexiest looking game that I think I've seen in all of crypto. The team is second to none. The gameplay itself looks addictive. Drop a little rocket emoji in the chat for Mr. Michael Wagner.
Hey gosh, thanks so much, man. Appreciate the intro there. And this is the first time joining the ecosystem call, but super excited to be here. We've been in the space for quite a while in the Solana ecosystem, made the decision very early on in 2020 as the layer one that would make our gaming philosophy of on-chain game logic actually possible, and really believed since inception that this is only possible on Solana. So we've scaled our team quite significantly over the past couple of years. We have about 200 people on the team today, and an enormous amount of innovation takes place across our company every single day. So have some exciting updates for you as well. I know we have a deck, a presentation that we've pulled together for you. Today, just going to be talking about a few of the things that we're working on, a couple of our gaming products, as well as a little bit about what we're doing on the infrastructure side or the primitive side. So we can jump in first. The big release for us was last week, April 26th. We kicked something off we called Star Atlas Golden Era Escape Velocity. So for those that don't know, Star Atlas, I think we're probably best known for our AAA gaming concept being developed in Unreal Engine 5. But we actually have a number of different environments that we develop within and multiple gaming applications that all integrate through Solana. Golden Era is a 3D browser-based real-time strategy game. So it uses all of the same NFTs, but the real innovation here and what is powerful about Golden Era is this becomes a test bed and a proving ground for that concept of on-chain gaming logic. And I do want to get into why that is important and the power of that. But just to start here with a few of the metrics, this release was not really a gaming release. This is a feature test environment for us. And what you see there, and so what we were testing is on-chain movement. Now we gamified all of this by including a loot table, a loot structure. It's kind of a scavenger hunt type mechanic, but what the user will do is connect a wallet upon entry. They will spawn a fleet of ships or ship or multiple ships. And then through this Cartesian on-chain coordinate system and movement mechanic, every time a person moves from point A to point B on the map, that's an actual Solana transaction. And in our case, what we think is probably the most innovative component about this is not a turn-based system. We're building a real-time RTS. And so all users are moving concurrently around the map with the all of the UI updates happening in real time as well. So kind of think of like, StarCraft in the historical days. But now, even the data that's here presented, the 3.4 million transactions, we've actually done over 5.5 million transactions now on chain. These are movement transactions, over 5,000 connected wallets, 4.2 million scans. And if anyone hasn't checked out Star Atlas before, this is a really great opportunity to get in. You don't actually need to own any of our NFTs to engage in this test. It is at sage.staratlas.com. You connect a wallet. It does require a deposit of Atlas, 1,000 per ship, but that will allow you to spawn the ship in the game, go search for loot, go get some free rewards. And then at the end of the test, you'll be able to reclaim that Atlas. So it's just a deposit, which helps us prevent botting. But this was super exciting for us. With the community behind Star Atlas is really excited, and we're excited about the potential of this on-chain gaming logic in the future.
Cool. For the sake of time, we might need to move a little bit fast, but do you want to tell the folks about Core as well, real quick?
Yeah, we'll blaze through the rest of this stuff. So Core is a graphic novel. So for the comic book fans out there, we've released an 18-episode graphic novel. This is coming out on a monthly basis, although we've just finished up the first act. The first 6 episodes came out. The remaining 12 episodes are going to kick back off in July. We have unique NFT covers for these. You can purchase those on Magic Eden. You can purchase those on the Star Atlas marketplace. It is a free to read story arc. So take a look in the Star Atlas marketplace if you're interested. You don't need to own the covers to read it, and it just gives the background and history of the lore of Star Atlas leading up to the current era. And then really quickly, Cash, all I want to cover on the final slides, I won't go into all of these primitives, but out of necessity, Star Atlas has had to develop a lot of infrastructure that enables us to materialize and realize the vision of on-chain gaming functionality. So some of these, like the FKit, this is open source. It's a Web3 JS library. It is the first native integration of Solana into Unreal Engine itself. So if there's any game developers out there, studios out there that are interested in building on Solana and don't necessarily have the full technical capabilities of working on chain, they can leverage the FKit as a way of bringing in transactions into your Unreal Engine client. Fuzzy Lemur is an indexing service, and Starcom's our Web3 MMO game server. A lot of cool things going on here, but if there's developers in the ecosystem, our vision is to work collaboratively to create this open, permissionless, and composable metaverse. So look forward to hearing from everyone. Appreciate the time here, Kash.
Folks, we are coming up on the end of the call. There are just a few more things that I want to talk about. This is the reason why people stay, I hope, for the 320 people that are still with us right now live and the thousands more that will watch this on YouTube. We have a massive update on Super Team Earn, which is what I'm most excited to share right now. We have a bunch of new bounties. For people who don't know, that is earn.superteam.fun. Take you to the brand new Super Team Earn. It just looks much nicer here. That's one. There's 3 major upgrades that we made to this platform, right? So first off is better discoverability. The site just looks much better and it's just easier to use. So you can find bounties by, let's say, category. And let's say that you are, let's say you want to do content. Let's say you write content. So you go to bounties and content. You see, we got a bunch from our friends over at Step Finance right now. Now, knowing that you're into content bounties, you can just hit the notify button and you can sign up for email alerts anytime new bounties get listed, rather than having to come back at all times, which is, if you ask me, pretty useful. All the bounties are still on here as well from all super teams, as well as from other places like the Solana Foundation, Finance, and anyone else that we can find. I believe that Mochi has one open right now, as do some others. We can take a look at some of these fun ones. How about this one from International Stable Currency, a new type of stablecoin that's just been released? We have a great deep dive bounty that's out there, $1,500 in prizes for writing an essay. All of that is in here. You can see all the details. And we've added in the second new feature, make things more social, right? Oftentimes people have questions or comments or want to find someone else to work with. Anyone want to partner on this bounty? Shoot me a DM at Cashtanda. There we go. And you can just pop that in here. Again, you'll need an account to do that, which I don't have time to show you how to do, but it takes less than 60 seconds. Super easy to do. And then finally, we really want to improve the bounty hunter experience. So one of the biggest questions we get is, I want to see the other submissions. The good news is now when bounties close, you'll be able to see everyone else's submissions. So if you are hiring, it's a great place to see who's got some real proof of work. And if you are a bounty hunter that's looking for a partner, it's a great place to find those partners. And it might just be a great place to find some inspiration on other things that you can do. Beyond that, we have all of the grants in the super team or in the Solana ecosystem up on this page as well. We're also capturing all the jobs that are available. So if you want to join a high growth team, this is the place to go. Super Team Earn is live right now. Big shout out to the team who made this happen here. Let me just put the link into the chat as well. That would be Yash on design, Pratik Dolani helped on the ops as well, strategy, and then Krishna the crypto diver, Dhruv the chef, and of course, John Swaroop helped as well as King on the grant side. Basically, our goal is this: get you paid. So come to Super Team Earn and you will find all of these opportunities. This fantastic deep dive bounty that we just talked about. We have a $700 bounty for those who want to map out the wormhole ecosystem in India. Another $300 for making a comic strip on NFTs. Shout out to Joseph. If you know anyone who's ready, we're waiting for him. We have a new grant pool, $10,000 per grant, up to $10,000 per grant for creators and community founders, whether that's localized in a particular country, around a particular interest, NFT communities, anything else. We want to give you money. And then we have a new fellowship through friends over at Hero. If you're a DeFi builder, go to earn.superteam.fun. Join the 2-week program. You'll get hands-on DeFi wizardry. That will be super useful as you kind of build out your dApps, get ideas, as well as access to mentors. And then finally, 2 massive jobs that we want to shout out because the compensation is very nice. First, man, I'm allergic to this much money. Jesus. First, founding engineer job at Sphere Labs for 100 to 200K. If you are interested in payments and building beautiful public-facing web applications, this is the place to look. We already mentioned Tensor. Don't forget, reach out to Richard if you're looking to work on what is the hottest dApp in all the Solana ecosystem right now, in my humble opinion. And then also our friends over at Ellipsis Labs. Shout out to Jerry. You would have seen him on the ecosystem call 2 months ago. They are also looking for a senior backend engineer, $150,000 to $200,000, which is pretty wild. So make sure to go check those out. As Tony says, the Sphere team is full of dimes. Highly recommend. And shout out to Dolani, who's putting all those links into the chat right now as well. So check those out when you get a chance. Big shout out to our guy, Vixit, and to the Solarplex folks here. Had a fun idea. If you have not gotten enough Solana on this call and you want to see more Solana projects, you want to understand more reasons to be bullish about some of the builders in the ecosystem, they have a new challenge for you. If you can solve these 3 riddles, you will be able to get a scavenger badge within Solarplex that will boost your reputation on the platform, make you a more valued member of the ecosystem, and possibly set you up for some airdrops in the future. As Tony says, Solarplex and Underdog all over the place. Also, Tony just BD King out here. Make sure to go check this out. Robert has just dropped the link into the chat. Some fun riddles to keep the Solana going in your day in case this was not enough for you. All right, folks, we are well past at this point. I appreciate everybody who stuck around for us here to see all this through. It is a pleasure. It is the real highlight of my month to do this calls with these fantastic builders. This is the badge you'll get, by the way, if you do the Solarplex project there and get involved on the riddle side. Thanks, everybody, so much for joining. From me, from Srijani, who helps on all the research, from Yash, who does all the design, to my guy, Jairus, who does those killer memes and the killer meme videos. We want to say thank you so much. You don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here. Adios, everybody.